Meet the Parents was such a funny film when it came out in 2000. And 4 years after it was released, we got a sequel, which is actually celebrating its 20th anniversary today. So prepare yourselves as I review Meet the Fockers. Big Days! Entertainment rankings and reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2004 rom-com Meet the Fockers, released by Universal here in the US and Canada, and internationally by DreamWorks. The film was directed by Jay Roach, who helmed this film's predecessor, Meet the Parents. The film stars Robert De Niro as one of the film's producers, who is back, along with Ben Stiller, Blythe Danner, and Teri Polo, plus Dustin Hoffman and Barbara Streisand. The film was released on this day, December 22nd, 2004. Henceforth, today is the film's 20th anniversary. Despite getting mixed reviews, though, unlike its predecessor, which got decent response, it still went on to become a big success. Now, if you have not seen my review of Meet the Parents, I advise you to click on that card before you go into my review of this, okay? Okay, now on with the story. With their wedding date 6 months away, Greg Focker and his fiancee Pam Burns decide to introduce their parents to each other. They fly to Oyster Bay, New York, to pick up Pam's father, retired CIA operative Jack Burns, and mother Dina, and their 1-year-old nephew Jack Banks, or Lil Jack, son of Bob and Debbie from the first film. Jack drives the family in his new RV to Miami, Florida to meet Greg's parents. They are greeted by Greg's eccentric, fun loving, and free spirited parents, Bernie Fokker, a lawyer turned stay at home dad, and Roz, a sex therapist for elderly couples. While Dina bonds with the Fockers, cracks form between Jack and the Fockers due to their contrasting personalities and backgrounds. A chase between the Fockers dog Moses and the Burns cat Jinx culminates with Jinx flushing Moses down the RV's toilet, and Bernie destroys it to save Moses. Later, Bernie accidentally injures Jack's back during a game of touch football. Pam informs Greg that she's pregnant, and they decide to keep it a secret until they are married. Bernie tells the guests that Greg lost his virginity to Isabel Villalobos, the Fockers' former housekeeper, 15 years earlier. Well, Isabel's 15-year-old son Jorge, who has never met his father and bears a striking resemblance to Greg, catches Jack's attention after he repairs the toilet in the RV. Roz, Bernie, and Dina learn that Pam is pregnant and promise not to tell Jack. Greg is left alone despite, well, well, in some ways, to babysit little Jack, who Jack has been raising via the Ferber method. Despite Jack's strict instructions to leave him to self-soothe, Greg is unable to stand listening to little Jack's cries and attempts to cheer him up by hugging him and acting humorously, but inadvertently teaches him the word asshole. When Greg answers a brief phone call from Roz, Lil Jack is let out of the playpen by Jinx. He turns on the TV to Scarface and glues his hands to a bottle of rum while saying that word repeatedly. This leads to an argument between Jack and the Fockers over each other's parenting methods. Jack begins spying on Greg, as you can imagine, sending both him and Jorge's hair samples for a DNA test. He then invites Jorge to Greg and Pam's engagement party in hopes of getting Greg to admit he is Jorge's father. When Greg denies having known about him, Jack does not believe him, so he drugs Greg with a shot of truth serum. While giving a toast, Greg uncontrollably blurts out that Pam is pregnant and that Jorge is his son before losing consciousness. Now I've decided I'm going to go ahead and give the final act and ending in a big way. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you 5 seconds. Stop this video like always. Stop this video immediately and fast forward to the time below as you go to the little box. Now, as I count down, if you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. The next morning, Pam questions Greg about Jorge, and he promises that he knew nothing about him before the previous evening. She believes him and is willing to work things out with him. Jack has reached his breaking point and demands that Pam and Dina leave with him. Dina refuses and reveals that Jack drugged Greg. Everyone turns against Jack and informs him that they were all aware of Pam's pregnancy, but didn't tell him due to his inability to trust people. Shocked and hurt, Jack leaves with little Jack. Bernie and Greg pursue him, but are tasered and arrested by Officer Vern LaFleur for speeding and not remaining in Bernie's car when pulled over. Meanwhile, Jack receives the results of DNA tests. Jorge's father is really a baseball player who also resembles Greg. Jack turns back toward the house, but when Jack sees Bernie and Greg being arrested, he attempts to defend them, but LaFleur tasers and arrests him as well. Greg, Jack, and Bernie are released from jail by Judge Ira, a client of Roz's. Before they leave, Greg asks Jack and Bernie to stop their feud. Jack admits he made a mistake regarding Jorge and explains his career in the CIA to Bernie before apologizing for his actions. Greg and Pam are married that weekend by her former fiance Kevin, now an ordained interfaith minister. Jack reviews hidden camera footage to find each of the Fockers jeopardizing the Ferber method. End of story. So what did I think of Meet the Fockers? Well, I am going to say it has its flaws, but still it's funny though. This was at the time a guilty pleasure, but now it isn't. Well, it's a semi-guilty pleasure. Anyway, it's just, yeah, it's fun, but I kind of do agree on some of these things, but it doesn't really bother the movie much. Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 39%, saying with a talented cast is wasted as the movie is content with recycling jokes from its predecessor. Metacritic has an average score of 41, while audiences polled by CinemaScore gave this a B+. Now, I will say we still got the same great cast with a few new additions mixed in. I think it's still pretty good. The film was a big success nonetheless. It went on to make $522 million worldwide against its $80 million budget, making it only the second highest grossing film for De Niro behind Joker. Also, the film went on to break the Return of the King's record for both the highest Christmas Day gross and the biggest Tuesday gross. And the film would hold the Tuesday record until a couple years later when the Omen remake surpassed it. Still, it continued to hold the Christmas Day record until it was beaten by both Avatar and then Sherlock Holmes in 2009. Anyway, I still think this proved to have a lot of fun and what have you. Still, it went on to be nominated and what have you for various awards, including a win for an MTV Movie Award for Best Comedic Performance and the Top Box Office Films Award at the ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards. They also have Randy Newman back on board to do the score for the film. And I'm going to say he's, once again, does a real good job, just like he did with the first film. Still good. Of course, he provides a little number for the film. Well, not quite as memorable as A Fool in Love in the first film, but still, nevertheless, was pretty good. So overall, I found Meet the Fockers to be a pretty funny film, despite recycling a few jokes from the previous film. For our cast, we have Robert De Niro back as Jack, still the same as before. Ben Stiller as Greg Focker, still funny as heck. Or hell, I'll say, wait, this is a PG-13 movie, duh. Blythe Danner once again plays Dina, and she's good, and Teri Polo as Pam was good as well. But I gotta say, I really like Dustin Hoffman's performance as Bernie, which was really good. And Barbara Streisand as Roz, yeah, they both really steal the show in numerous ways. For the rest of the cast, we have Spencer and Bradley Pickren playing Lil Jack. Not bad. And let's see. We have a brief small appearance from Callie Roca as the flight attendant, again from the first film, but this time just a little, I think you've seen this one. You know how she is in this one. We have Isabel Villalobos, who is played by Alana Obach, who I remember from the Brady Bunch movie and the first season of the 90s kids show Beekman's World. And Ray Santiago plays Jorge, not bad. While Officer LaFleur is played by none other than Delmar from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Tim Blake Nelson, who also, which he also recently played Dr. Jonathan Jacobo in Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, which was released earlier that same year in 2004. Anyway, despite the mixed reviews, it's as I've said, it still did pretty well. It went on to become the seventh highest grossing film of 2004. 6 years later, we would get a sequel in Little Fockers, which unfortunately did not get a lot of good response and what have you. But I will talk about that when its anniversary comes. When its anniversary comes next December, which actually, as a matter of fact, this was released. It was released on the same day. This was 6 years after Meet the Fockers. Can you believe that? Yeah, you better believe it. But anyway, yeah, this film still did alright and what have you, but still, it got a ton of hate. But I will defend the film in as best as I can, though. So, Meet the Fockers, it's pretty funny, though despite it recycles numerous jokes and what have you. But nevertheless, it proves to have a little fun, bit of experiences and what have you. Especially from Dustin Hoffman and Barbara Streisand, they were both very good. So, what did you think of this film? But oh wait, I almost forgot. Would I recommend the film? I'd say just to play it safe. I'd say give it a one-time watch, but only if you are a hardcore completionist. If you really want to try and continue the Fokker family trilogy, then I'd say go for it. So again, what did you think of Meet the Fockers? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continuing to help support my channel. Make it grow and make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel. Give them to know me. Maybe they like to be a part of my Big D Nation. Share my vids with your friends if you like as well. Join me next time when I bring to you another sequel that's got an anniversary coming up, and it's Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel. So if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for some of these other films. I'll give you one film from with Robert De Niro I recently reviewed, and that's The Godfather Part 2 from 1974. Or if you'd like, maybe you'd like to see my review of a film Ben Stiller himself actually directed, and that was The Cable Guy from 1996. Or check out my review of another film that director Jay Roach did before this, and that's Austin Powers and Goldmember from 2002. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.